Another week, another episode of Coffee on the Dark Side. This week we don't have really a lot to talk about. Just a couple of things.
You heard the news?
What news?
Me neither.
Okay, okay. But it was a really slow week, huh?
Well, after a big week, it comes a slow week, and after a slow week, it comes a slow month, and after a slow month, it comes another big month. It's always going around and around and around and around and around.
After the slow month, you will have another one, and then another one. Eventually, you'll get to November with
We'll
the
make
shows.
something up.
We'll make something.
Like this. Lucasfilms is coming back!
Lucasfilm. LucasArts. LucasArts.
No, LucasArts is the gaming part. Lucasfilms is the movie part.
Lucasfilms never cease to exist.
Yeah, but they're going to be independent. That's what I meant.
No, they're not going to be independent.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
If you make a wish, if you find a dying child and ask it to make a wish to make Wish Foundation, they have to make it right.
Without Disney, LucasArts would just die, and
No, LucasArts,
no
not
more
Lucasfilm.
no more Star Wars. Lucasfilms, yeah. No more Star Wars. So
Lucasfilm will come up as a big enterprise and then buy Disney. No, okay.
April Fools was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but I was sleeping
Okay.
during that day. So.
So today we got the confirmation: Fallen Jedi will not be Fallen Order.
Sides.
Fallen Order will not be on the Switch platform.
Yes.
So no
Not
switching sides. Yeah, no switching sides.
She's not switching sides.
Thoughts on this?
It's a game that's going to be magnanimous, not polyamorous.
What the hell? Magnanimous.
I don't know. She's not polyamorous, or what do you say it in English?
Polyamorous.
Polyamorous. It's going to be monoamorous, friends. So probably only for PlayStation 4,
And Xbox.
Xbox,
And PC.
maybe and PC. No Switch because no surprises there. Honestly,
But I don't think it's related to the hardware. I mean, because reports say that EA has confirmed that Switch, and I'm quoting here, as amazing as the Switch is, no plans to bring the game to Nintendo Switch.
I wonder why.
Well, if you go and see what games EA has on the Switch, I don't think they have any. Apart maybe from
That's what I was going to say.
apart from FIFA, I think.
Wait, Switch has FIFA?
I think it does, yeah. Well, at least we had. So
We had FIFA?
I think it did.
Are you completely sure?
Well, at least Pro Evolution Soccer had. That I'm sure.
But Pro Evolution Soccer is not from EA.
But FIFA, I think there is also. I think we had FIFA, yeah. Probably FIFA 12 or something. I think it was on the Wii platform. So I think Switch has FIFA. Maybe the 19 one.
That's probably blowing my mind. Like,
But apart from that, EA doesn't have any games there. No Apex Legends, no Anthem, no anything. They're
no Need
not
for Speed.
no Need for Speeds. And because Need for Speed is dying, let's be honest. We can eventually make an episode on the whole Need for Speed crisis because there is a lot to speak about Need for Speed, but
Not actually.
no, there is a lot.
There is, but there isn't.
But regarding other games from EA, I don't think they have any on the platform.
Yeah, I'm completely surprised. It's one of those things, even with GameCube and other platform systems that were in competition with PlayStation, you start to think, did this platform have any games? Like, if you had a GameCube, mostly what you played was Mario, Sonic,
The Nintendo games, basically.
and Zelda and Pokemon and
The platform
something.
games. The platform.
The platform games. Um yeah, same thing happened with Wii. Wii was the first to bring us all those games with Wii Sports and Wii Adventures,
It
and
was a family console.
it was a family console for families to start beat each one with not remotes but actually punches, because the games taught you how to punch. So
Attempt from Nintendo to bring families closer together instead of sitting. I mean, instead of the kid sitting in his room playing his Xbox or his Xbox or so.
Xboxers,
Jesus,
Xboxers,
Xboxers, Xboxers.
boxes,
I'm going to put this on the thumbnail.
Xboxers,
I know.
Xboxers,
Yeah, Xbox. Yeah, Xbox.
Xboxers. And now I'm thinking about boxers with an X, big old X, like Calvin Klein boxers. But
Stop
with
thinking about your ex's boxers.
X-Men boxers.
Stop thinking about.
Let's sell them.
Stop thinking about Wolverine's boxers.
We'll start a revolution. Use your favorite hero from X-Men in your boxers. X-boxers.
I don't want to have Wolverine in my ass.
Okay, you
Or in
can
my
have
balls.
Magneto.
No, not even Magneto.
But
But going
yeah.
back, instead of having the kid playing Xbox in the room and having the parents in the living room watching whatever crappy show was on TV, they would all sit and, well, not sit, but gather around and play some Wii together. I think that was the main goal of Wii, and after that the Wii U, and I think now it's what they're trying to do with the Switch.
do you remember any game from Wii U?
No,
I remember one.
I think Wii U had
Many problems.
compatibility, yeah, problems too, but compatibility with the Wii games, the normal Wii games.
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
And I can
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
some games from the original Wii because I have one.
Yeah,
My dad bought one of it
yeah,
for him.
yeah. We played Wii esports very much.
And I think that's what Nintendo is trying to do here, is keep
Switch.
It's, yeah, with the Switch. And the main strength of the Switch is giving you access
Mobility.
to game, yeah, mobility, yeah, but also giving you access to some games that usually you wouldn't play on a PlayStation or an Xbox. I mean, those Pokemon platform games like Mario, Zelda,
Mario Party.
those kinds of games you don't usually play on a PlayStation. Well, now you have some,
Yeah.
but it's not the same because Nintendo has this.
Pokken.
Yeah, Nintendo has this history of having platform games, and the strength of of the Switch. Besides that,
The Nintendo.
yeah, of Nintendo. Besides that, is having
Platform games.
um
And mobility.
no, I mean you on the PlayStation you have the PlayStation Store. You can
Yeah.
buy whatever game is on the shelf.
Yeah.
You can buy digitally on the
You can
PlayStation.
also do that
But on the Switch,
in Nintendo.
I know on the Switch store
Mm-hmm.
you can buy games that you don't buy on a shelf. I mean, indie games.
Yeah.
A lot of indie studios, of a lot of small gaming studios.
Shovel Knight, for example.
For instance,
First, it came out as an only digital game. Now, with all the DLCs that have been produced, they are going to sell a special edition. I can't remember the name of the special edition, but probably it's going to have the normal game, all the DLCs in the physical form, and the special cover art. You know, we know one person that probably is going to buy that because
because he
Yeah.
also has a Switch.
yeah.
But I think that's the main strength of the Switch's store is having a lot of access to indie games.
Well, PlayStation tried that, especially.
But it's not the same.
It's not the same because one example of a game I wanted to buy, and it was only available digitally, was the game of Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I liked the game. It looked like one of those old platforms, punchy games, with many references of the comic books and the movies, the movie of Scott Pilgrim, and all the special effects and all that, and it had a really retro. Sorry.
Retro.
Sorry, retro style. I had a sugar bubble in my throat, and and then complications came to Sony / PlayStation, and the producer of the game / producer of the movie / producer of the comic books, one of them. And so the game is not right now is not available to buy. I wish it could be available to buy, especially on PlayStation 4 now that I have a PlayStation 4 and wanted to buy the game and play the game.
Sony with the PlayStation 4 now is bringing a lot of old games to.
Yeah, the special effects.
I mean, you have a lot of PS2 games that are already ported to the new system. I mean, on my console I have Bully, and I have the 3 original 3D GTAs. I mean, 3 Vice City and San Andreas. I have them on my console.
Just a special note for those who don't know what Bully is, you may know the name, and the game is known as Canon Edit.
It's basically the best Rockstar game
Yes.
after Red Dead Redemptions.
Yes.
After the 2 Red Dead Redemptions.
Imagine you're in GTA, okay, Grand Theft Auto, but now you're in a small city, and now instead of a gangster, you're a kid, and the kid that has problems with society. Bams! Now you're going to buy the game, and that's enough. That's enough to sell the game.
For me, it's easily top 3. My favorite Rockstar game probably is Red Dead Redemption 2. I shed a tear playing it after that Red Dead Redemption, the original one, which I also shed a tear playing, and then easily Bully.
Yeah,
Easily.
when you linked me Bully for PlayStation 2, one of the best games ever.
Bully was amazing.
Yeah.
In all the platforms, it was available on PS2, Xbox, even on PC. The game performed amazingly good. But going back to the Switch thing.
Yeah.
And since EA is putting a lot of focus on the last years already, a lot of focus on multiplayer games. I mean, Apex Legends is an only multiplayer game. Anthem has a campaign, but it's also a multiplayer game. Battlefront 2. But the original Battlefront for PS4, the 2015 one, was an only multiplayer game. It had no campaign. Battlefield is also a multiplayer game, despite having a small campaign. So
multiplayer, want the tutorial.
And above all, it's online multiplayer, which is the main reason I'm saying this, because no one will be. I mean, imagine you're on the train playing the Switch, and imagine you are playing. I know that Fallen Order is a single player only game. I know. But I'm talking about.
You have the long distance trains that have Wi-Fi.
I know, but it's not. But
No,
you will
not the
have
same,
lag.
yeah.
You will have the latency. The game will be laggy.
Yeah.
I mean, if sometimes
You're
you're
already playing at home. It's already like.
Sometimes you're playing on a Wi-Fi, and you have the Wi-Fi like 2 meters from you, and it lags. So imagine you're on the train.
Yeah, I would like to thank all the little kids that disturbed my internet during this weekend of Easter playing Fortnite. Yeah, thanks a lot, douche. But yeah, it's Switch. It's, let's face it, Switch is not a normal console. Switch is like a big ass Game Boy,
Yeah.
basically. So you can take it to everywhere. You can play with your friends. You can play using two controllers and divide and all that. You can play with four controllers and divide all that. But basically, Switch is what we,
Should have been.
yeah, Wii U especially, because they try
Wii U, yeah.
to cross over. Switch U,
But the Wii, the original Wii was a console made for the player to be moving, but it was a console to be on a television.
Wii U.
The Wii U already
the
had
problem.
that second screen,
Yeah.
where you could take it. You imagine you want to take a dump, you can take it to the bathroom and play.
Yes. Wii U try. I think that Wii U. It's the inspiration came from GameCube and the Nintendo 64, because that idea of the Pokemon tournament games, where the Pokemon Stadium, where you could transport the Pokemons from one platform to the other and use it. I think that's what I did, because you could grab your Game Boy and would go to the toilet to level up the Pokemons, then you save it, then you put the game on the Nintendo 64, play it on the big screen and level up, and
Yeah.
back and forth, back and forth.
Nintendo already has that history. If you remember, the major hits on the Game Boy were the Pokemon games and the
Yes.
Zelda games
Yes.
and the Super Mario games.
Yes. And Sonic.
Yeah, but these three especially
Yeah.
were the major hits on the Game Boys,
Yeah.
and the Game Boys were a majorly
Success.
were a major success. Exactly, thank you for Nintendo. And when they started to make the Nintendo 3DSs to complete the home systems they already had, which were failing, the GameCube failed. The Wii was launched as a replacement, and it did surprisingly well.
For the time.
At least in my opinion, it did surprisingly well.
It attacked what the other platforms didn't.
Yeah, because PlayStation and Xbox are those consoles you put on a TV and they sit there for years and years and years, being used daily, but they never leave the same spot.
No, but it's like I was saying. We attacked what the other consoles didn't do exactly, because even if you had PlayStation with the Move system, it was not the
It's
same
not the
thing.
same thing.
I even think that the Move system appeared after Wii.
Yeah.
But for example, you had
I'll give you one more either. The PlayStation Move system
yeah,
appeared after the
Yeah.
Xbox Kinect.
that too
And the Kinect for me
was better. Yeah,
than the PlayStation Move, because
Yes.
you didn't need to have those things on your hands.
yes.
The Kinect was
It read the movements
it had
of
its
the body.
problems.
Yes.
It had its problems. It was laggy,
Yes.
but it was a simple camera. You didn't need to have anything on your hands.
Nope.
Unlike the PlayStation Move, you had those
Moves.
cocks, those dicks in your hand.
No,
With a ball.
magic wands.
Yeah, magic wands. Yeah.
Like the magic wands
Yeah.
that, for those who are plus 18, and probably most of you are plus 18, you know what I'm talking about. The magic wands, also known as Hitachi. And for example, PSP, it sucked balls.
I wouldn't say it sucked.
But it didn't move. What I meant by it sucked balls is it didn't move forward as it was planned, because it tried to attack something that other platforms already had.
If you were saying the PS Vita
Also
sucked,
that.
I would agree. It was a total failure. But the PSP, I think it worked. The problem with the PSP was it was aiming for the market where people wanted to play.
Big ass screen.
Not only that, but wanted to play on the go. And the people who wanted to play on the go usually already had
Game Boy.
the late Game Boys, the Game Boy Advance or what it was, the Game Boy Advance SP or something, or already had the 3DSs.
Yeah, the DS first and the 3DS.
And for the PSP to reach the generation of PlayStation players that discovered that they could play on the train or on their parents' cars, it took them a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And when people started to see, oh, I have a PlayStation on my house and I can play PlayStation on the street. When people started to get this,
It was already too late.
no, the PSP started to take off, and it held out for a few years.
You know what I think it was one of the big mistakes for PSP? The little DVDs
Oh yeah,
to watch movies.
yeah. The little DVDs and I mean the discs were easily lost.
Yes.
I mean you're changing the disc, it falls on the ground. Oh, where it is? I don't know. Yeah, you would never find it again.
No.
There was a good thing though. They were protected. You wouldn't scratch them.
Yes. But also it was a problem because the plastic was not well made.
Yeah.
At that shop, when we go buy second-hand games, we came across a client trying to sell PSP games, and some of them he couldn't buy from the people because the plastic was open.
Yeah.
It was
But I mean, if the plastic after a few years will start to deteriorate. I mean,
that too.
if you grab a Game Boy cartridge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how my Pokemon Red version, which is an original from '97 or something,
Still lasts.
it was the first edition that came out in Portugal in '97 or something.
I've lost mine.
To save
Lost.
the game, the cartridge has a small battery.
Yes.
That would last around 20 years,
Yes.
15 to 20 years.
Yes.
My Pokemon Red still works and still saves.
Well, it hasn't been 20 years.
It hasn't been 20 years.
No.
From 1997 to now, it's not 20 years.
Damn, I'm old. Damn, you're old.
It's
Damn, we are old.
it's 22 years. And I'm still amazed that
But it recharges a little bit with the usage of the Game Boy. So when was the last time you used it?
eventually, after a few years, she stops. She stops to regenerate because it has like a liquid
Yeah.
that only lasts for like 10 years, 15 maybe.
Can I tell two sad stories of my past about those games?
Yes.
Yes. First of all, I used to be bullied. To talk about the game Bully. And one douchebag thought I played with his Action Man. And I forgot my fire game, my Pokemon Red, at the college where I was studying. And the fucking douchebags told in my face with big ass smiles that they saw me play with the Action Man, which I didn't. And they grabbed my game, tossed it on the toilet, pooped on it, pissed on it, and then flushed on it. Fuck you. The second sad story, don't stop the music, was that I was a kid. So sometimes I forgot to take the game out of the pockets. And my mom decided to wash my clothes with the game, my Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets game for Game Boy Color, in my pocket. After 2 washes, the game doesn't save.
It doesn't save.
It doesn't save. For me to play the entire game, either I go to the internet and emulate, or I have to play it non-stop.
Yeah, basically.
Like, I think I tried one time.
I had a gold version of Pokemon like that.
Yeah.
If I could save it,
Yeah.
but if I wanted to play the red one, I would have to exchange the cartridge.
Yeah.
If I exchange the cartridge,
Poof.
the save game would go away. So, to keep playing the save game, I couldn't ever take out the goddamn cartridge.
But it was that only the problem of you changed the batteries of the Game Boy, it would also
No. The
Just that!
Just taking it off.
Hey, yeah, man.
I could change the
Hey,
batteries,
man.
but not the game. So I played Pokemon Gold for 3 months every day.
Yes.
And I had to ask a friend for a Game Boy to trade Pokemon so I
For
could
the
have,
other game.
so I could have the 150 on one and the 250 on the other.
Sad stories of our past. Things that kids nowadays will not understand.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was watching a meme that is older than some people who go on YouTube. Yeah. I was watching some old memes.
Old memes.
Really old memes.
Old memes.
Yeah.
Like what? Old memes. Old memes.
Just search, you goddamn whore. Oh.
Japan break industries. What the fudge is that?
This is a 2009 meme. It's a proto meme.
It's the alpha meme.
So yeah.
You know what's that reminding me?
No.
Initial D.
Oh, I was going to say the Stig from Top Gear.
Also that. But the Japan music.
Going back to EA,
Yeah.
so we can wrap this up because we've lost. We can't be talking like this.
Yes, we
We
can.
lost control.
Yes, we can.
Going back to EA,
Yeah.
Respawn,
Not going to switch.
not going to switch. EA not going to switch.
Nope.
Respawn has EA by its pants.
Yes.
And panties down. Respawn is effing up EA because they wanted to give us a single player experience and EA had to accept it. So I'm happy for that.
Giggity.
I think I've said this last week, but
Yes.
I want to reinforce it.
Yes.
Anything to add about this Fallen Order thing? Speak now or shut up forever.
Not right now.
Not
We'll
right
get back when we have more news,
now.
more
When we
image.
have more stuff, right?
Yes.
Oh, apparently the official date for the release is the 15th of November.
15th of November.
So
Counting money.
there's that. Moving forward,
People.
very happy,
Yes.
very very happy.
Yes.
Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilms president, was finally able to openly speak about Knights of the Old Republic. And apparently there are works and someone pitched the idea of a Knights of the Old Republic movie. Now, we have some good leads on this. I'm pretty sure it's going to be something from the Game of Thrones writers. I forget
employed.
their names. Yeah, Benioff and Weiss's project, their trilogy will probably fall in this category.
Oh, look, they're saying the games are being sold in that website. I always tell
Yeah,
you
yeah,
about.
yeah. The games are still available. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm going to let you vent on that.
Yes.
But why am I saying this? Ryan Johnson also has a trilogy, and he already said and confirmed his trilogy will not be set on the Old Republic. So, giving this, since the only movies confirmed besides The Rise of Skywalker are these two trilogies, I think Benioff and Weiss will go into this time period. Because I think it falls on their
Genre.
genre. Because they write the Game of Thrones, and Knights of the Old Republic is kind of a futuristic medieval thing. I mean, Knights.
Plus all those
Yeah.
conflicts of the houses, because there were houses in the Old Republic, especially on the dark side.
Yeah. So
And you
the
have
Sith back then were very different from what we see right now on canon. If you
yes,
go,
because I want
if you
to
go,
see more
if
Sith.
yeah, if you go into the Legends, what is now the Legends category, you will see that the Sith there isn't that thing of the rule of two, which came with Bane. So I think these two guys will dive into this and will give us finally something for the casual fans,
Yes.
because the hardcore ones, me, you, are familiar or relatively familiar with the expanded universe, with the old games.
I played them a bit.
I'm not sure if I played SUTOR, but KOTOR, I remember I played the hell out of it.
SWTOR I played a lot. I was in a guild on all that.
I've read the What Is Now Legends Plagueis novel more than once. I love that. I love that novel. And I think, but I will maybe get back on this after you vent a little on this.
So, for those who don't know, or at least know less than me, because I'm not an expert, Knights of the Old Republic was...
of both of us on this matter.
Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic was a series of games with a story about the Old Republic. What is the Old Republic? In the movies of Star Wars, especially in the prequels, you see the Republic. The formation of the Republic, or the Council of the Jedis, before, afterwards, meaning the battle against the Sith. The Sith were more than what appear in the Star Wars movies, where in the Star Wars movies, like my partner said, you have the rule of two, always a master, always an apprentice. Before, it was like the Jedi. You had a lot of Siths and a lot of Jedis. And there was no... Well, not a council.
You had a Sith Emperor, and then
Yes, the Sith are the ruler.
I believe it was Darth Malak, I think.
It depends on the generation.
But I think the first one that waged the war on the Republic was Malak, I think.
I think so. Gotta catch the games again.
I think it was.
And and it was the games that were two.
Yeah, it
were
says-
called...
It says here, a Sith Lord named Darth Malak has unleashed an armada against the Republic, and the player is a Jedi tasked with stopping him. So basically,
And this is a story of Knights of Republic, the Knights of the Old Republic 1. There's also a big plot, and the game starts about you're in a ship, ship that is being attacked by a group of Sith, and you are kind of a Jedi, but not really a Jedi, and you're searching for a really Jedi, which was, I don't remember a name. Sorry, my memory is really bad with names. But basically, this one was the wife of a fallen Jedi. This fallen Jedi is one of the most favorites of the entire Star Wars enterprise, which is Star Wars, the Darth Revan. Revan,
I think it's
Revan,
Revan.
not Raven, but Revan. I always say it Revan, maybe it's Revan. It spells Revan.
I think it's Revan.
Revan, probably. I always say it Revan, I don't know why. But, and you're searching for this Jedi because he was a Jedi. He was a very powerful Jedi. And he went with his student to a temple of the dark side. Because he believed, like, he was... For a better example, his lightsaber was purple. And we know another Jedi with a purple lightsaber, which was Mace Windu, portrayed by Samuel L. Jackson.
Sam fucking L motherfucking Jackson.
Sam motherfucking Jackson. Samuel, I'm fucking tired of these motherfucking snakes on my motherfucking plane, L. Jackson.
Does he look like a Sith?
Does he look like a Sith? What? Say what again? Please make memes like this.
There is a meme like that.
I know. We need more. So, going back on track. Jedi's who that have a lightsaber that with the color purple are kind of students of both sides. For the studies of the Force started with a group, the first Force users. They believed in the study of light side and dark side. But you reach at a point that the dark side was enough to be learned and then you were satisfied. That belief was kind of forgotten except for some, and those who follow that path of knowledge gain a purple lightsaber, or at least when you form a lightsaber, the crystal gains a purple color. Then you had the first Force users, the ones that wanted more to venture in the studies of the dark side, and those were the first Sith per se. But yeah, Revan was a Jedi with a purple lightsaber, and to solve some problems, he decided to venture inside of a Sith temple, if my memory is correct, and then he supposedly fallen to the dark side. Now, what's interesting about this character is that Siths always believed that they were superior to other species. Mostly Siths were kind of humanoids, or Zabraks, or whatever. At least they look humanoid. Revan believed otherwise. Believed that every species with a connection to the Force was also given a choice of his freedom and of his power. So in the games, at least in SWTOR, meaning Star Wars: The Old Republic, the mobile online game, massive multiplayer online game, MMORPG, you start a quest around the dark side if you choose to be a Sith character, which you came across the Revanites. Revanites were the followers of Revan, and if you choose this path, you can gain more followers that were not exactly humanoid, because Revan agreed that every character, every species, every type of alien per se had a choice, had an importance in this universe. And that's one of the things I kind of wanted to see in this Star Wars: The Old Republic movies, which basically I want to, as many fans, I want to see Revan. I want to see more Sith. I want to see the schools. I want to see more forms of combat. I want to see the trivialities per se of the families in the dark side, because imagine trying to find another show to grasp and counterpart. For those who see Japanese animation, you have anime that's currently on release, which is called Black Bull. I think that's the name. Damn, my memory's fogged. But basically, the premise is everyone is a magic user. Royal families have better magic, so their view like, oh, look at me, I'm all fancy and all that. It's like Harry Potter, basically. All the old families and the pure bloods despise it, the mudbloods. Sith families of long generations were like that. If you were from a family, you had better chance and more importance than the others, which came futile because the force is mysterious and it doesn't mean that all the quantity is shared by blood, which I always liked that. To counterpose many of the things that when Rey appeared in episode 7, they thought she was a Skywalker because of her massive power. More things I want to see in this trilogy. Temples. I want to see temples. Because one of the things I like the most are the Sith temples. The Sith holocrons, the Sith temples, all that mysterious. Because if you compare Jedi temples to Sith temples, Jedi temples are like gardens. Like very beautiful gardens full of libraries and all those kind of Japanese temples look like. Sith temples are obscure. And you can see a type of Sith temple in Star Wars Rebels, with Darth Maul getting Ezra.
When
Ahsoka's fighter, that's one of the most old Sith temples. And now imagine if you could see it inside, not in ruins.
I mean, that episode almost makes the entire Old Republic canon. Almost.
Yeah.
Because you're acknowledging that 4,000 or 5,000 years ago you had a lot of Sith and a whole different order of Sith prowling around the galaxy, leaving temples, leaving holocrons. The only character from that time that is currently canon is Bane.
Mm-hmm.
But by association of ideas, it's almost canon. So I think it would be really stupid for Lucasfilms and for Disney
to not grab the opportunity
to keep that part of Star Wars in the shadows.
Yes.
Like it's been since the acquisition.
Yes.
And George Lucas always openly said, I accept this as part of Star Wars. And I think it was the first time when you've seen fan fiction really become a part of something. I think that
basically most of the stories most of the stories in Legends there were at one point fan fiction. All the evolutions that happen currently in the SWTOR game, meaning the Old Republic, the MMORPG, there it's still being upgraded and with new content being released. It's like fan fiction and go nuts.
I think fan fiction is really important for anything.
Well, it depends on the fan fiction.
No, I mean fan fiction in general.
Yeah.
In general, I'm not saying about those weirdly erotic fan fictions which are stupid. Just,
Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Yeah, just stop.
In the planet.
Stop. I would accept it if it made any sense, but making them have the sexy just because of
sexy
just because of someone else's sexually release, no, I cannot accept that. If the story makes sense, okay, they were
and the
lovers.
funny part that most fan fiction that is gay like guy on guy, is written by teenager girls.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Now you do.
Jesus. People really need to. But
Vend it up.
as I as I was saying, and I'm not trying to make people understand that. Man, oh, this guy's an homophobic. No, okay, no.
It just needs to make sense.
As if the story makes sense, okay.
It's like you telling me all those fan fictions about Harry Potter of Hermione and Severus Snape.
Yeah, why? Why?
I don't know.
It's dumb.
Yeah,
But
I can understand. Yeah, you know, we're venting out. Wait,
going back to the fan
subject.
fiction thing.
Yeah,
Fan fiction in general is, I mean, it's important because the creators of that thing can look and say, "Oh, people are still interested in this. Let's make something out
actually,
of
I
it."
think.
And I think
they're
let
listening to.
me just finish.
Yeah, sorry.
And the way George Lucas at the time dealt with this really opened up a lot of doors. I mean, the 50 Shades thing is basically a sexual fan fiction of people that sparkle. Okay, vampires that sparkle. Fairies that sparkle and
You
have
mean
sharp
Twilight,
teeth.
not 50 Shades.
50 Shades is a fan fiction of Twilight.
What?
I mean, in fact, not literally. It's heavily inspired.
What?
Yeah.
You serious?
That's what I've read.
I never saw the movies or read the book, so.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have.
You stupid.
Where is it? 50 Shades trilogy. Here it is. Up. No, I don't. Stop.
The offer has spoken.
Better-
No.
Jesus.
Plot overview. No. Film. No.
Let me see this.
No. References. Maybe. I don't know. We're basically wasting time while you read Wikipedia. You know that, right?
I don't care.
Oh, okay. So, like I was saying,
Yeah, forget it.
what I was saying.
I was
What?
saying.
Yeah. What were you saying?
Yeah, real?
Yeah.
The
50 Shades-
the 50 Shades trilogy was developed from a Twilight fan fiction series originally titled Master of the Universe. So basically, this is a fan fiction. Okay.
Wait.
I don't know how because I've never read it.
No. I mean, it bothers me. How does 50 Shades comes from Twilight, and how does Master of the Universe changes to 50 Shades?
It's not the Master of Universe you're thinking about. Okay.
He-Man!
It's not He-Man.
He-Man!
It's She-Woman. She-Woman wants
She-Woman!
She-Woman wants the D.
Demon!
But yeah, so basically this is a fan fiction.
Well, yeah, all the
I don't care. I don't care if you like it or not.
Yeah.
I'm not discussing if
Yeah.
it's any good.
Yeah.
The thing is, the woman wrote it
Yeah.
because she was missing something at home,
Yeah.
and it was a hit. I mean, women were taking cucumbers to the cinema. I've literally seen photos of cucumbers,
Some wet.
some wet, at the end of a session. Okay, most of them made memes. Point being, this is a fan fiction and it worked. So maybe this was a door that was opened by George Lucas' acceptance at the time in the expanded universe of Star Wars.
What, 50 Shades?
No,
I'm joking.
the
I'm
logic,
joking,
the
I'm joking.
logic,
Yeah, the logic.
the logic that
So
people,
the logic is
the logic
George
that
Lucas,
people can
you
write.
fucked up.
No,
Kidding.
he would
I'm
have,
kidding.
he
I'm
would
kidding.
have, he would have,
Fucked up. Griffed up.
if he hadn't, if he had never accepted it. Just saying, oh no, this is fan fiction. I don't care about this. Lawsuit the guys, just like Disney sometimes does,
And Nintendo.
and Nintendo.
Now we're going to get sued because of this.
No, we're not, because we are not making money out of this.
Yeah.
So until
There was all
And-
those RPGs.
and one day, if we ever get some money out of this, in that time we can worry about that. Until then, this is just an opinion. This is just an opinion on the internet. But thank you, George Lucas, for accepting it. And this is not official. Okay, Kathleen Kennedy made a very vague.
I don't think half of the time she doesn't know what she's saying to the public.
I mean,
Kind of.
if there wasn't an idea or a pitch to do that, she wouldn't. She would do, and she would say whatever what she always said. No. Okay. Oh, are there any Old Republic things going? No. This has always been the official answer of Lucasfilms. No, there isn't. Then people started to ask Ryan Johnson after The Last Jedi. Started to ask Ryan Johnson, and he said no. And now,
surprise,
on the
surprise.
celebration of 2019,
Yeah.
people asked, "Oh, what about the Old Republic?"
Maybe.
Oh, we'll see. I'm not sure what she said. I can't be completely sure.
But
But
yeah, she said
She
something.
wouldn't address this if it wasn't a possibility.
Yes.
And like you said, I'm also hoping for Revan. Thing is, I'm not seeing them if this ever becomes a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing this being a
Faithful to
a-
the game.
yeah, not being faithful and not being a direct adaptation.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get some characters. I'm hoping for Revan and Nihilus. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping for these two.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
Mm-hmm.
But it won't be a direct adaptation. So it will probably be a little different here and there.
You know what would be funny? It would be 3 movies. The first one is the journey of a character of light. The second one is the same journey but a character of darkness.
And then a final confrontation.
And then the final confrontation.
Yeah.
And during each of the movies of this light side and the dark side, because many people like the dark side characters, but they're not given the same importance that the light side. And I wanted to hear the Sith code and the Jedi code. It was reflect, or some part there I have to meditate, like peace is a light, there's only passion, for passion against strength, for strength against power, for power
need to
against victory,
have-
for victory my chains are broken, the force also
You need to have
The
the
Force
hero.
Offering.
You need to have the cliche. It's not a cliche. It's the basis of every story.
Yes.
The hero's journey, and the hero's arc.
I know, and that sells, but
No, what I'm saying is,
yeah.
you can put that inside the hero's journey.
Yes. but
Either
on
either
different
if it
verse.
is the Jedi code or the Sith code, doesn't matter. You always need to have the hero's journey. And my biggest issue is, and this goes along with something I've been saying in the past 2 weeks, especially because movies are going to be put on hold. What you need is good storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying the last stories were bad. You need good, amazing storytelling, which is what happens with Marvel. Marvel has amazing storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they can put 3-4 movies per year. That's why in the last 10 years, 11 years since the original Iron Man, they've put out 22 films already, counting Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
So this comes with good storytelling, and I don't think that Star Wars problem is fatigue. So I could see these three movies coming out in 3 years with other material in between.
Now I remember what I want to say. Because I was thinking, because of the movies and what you said in the last episode of some movies putting on hold. What if some of these movies and projects are not for theaters?
What, straight to the
To Disney, yeah.
I mean, the shows are.
No, the shows are, but I mean the movies, because there are some movies.
I'm not seeing Star Wars movies going straight to streaming.
No, it's just because.
Because I'm going to tell you why. Because there are a lot of people, and they know this. They know this. There are a lot of people, a lot of fans who will not be subscribing to their service.
Yeah.
So if they put the movie in, the movies would be all they had on the legal way. Okay, on the legal way, the movies would be the only thing they would have to cling on to Star Wars. And comics, but I'm talking about audiovisual. And putting movies, spending money on movies, and putting them straight to streaming services, and especially only on Disney, when a lot of people have Netflix and HBO, for instance.
Well, Netflix is kind of dying.
But
yeah.
You know what I mean.
I just thought that probably someone had that idea.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the boss had that idea.
No. Yeah.
It's like that meme of the guy saying something and being thrown out of the window, you know?
Yeah, there is always some hotshot who has that bright idea.
Yeah.
But to me, I think that would be a crucial mistake, and I think either Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger would never do that mistake. Ever. Yeah. Like Kevin Feige from Marvel didn't do. They still put out their movies on the cinema. Mm-hmm. I mean, I agree. They could put. I mean, whenever the movie comes out on DVD or on Blu-ray, the movie would go first into streaming. I mean, to get the movie on Blu-ray, you would have like to wait. Imagine today.
No, but they do that.
No.
But I get it.
Nowadays, you have to wait 6 months?
Yeah.
To get the movie on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Delay the Blu-ray edition and put it after 6 months or something. Put it on the streaming service.
I would do.
And delay the Blu-ray editions.
No, I would do the Blu-ray edition 6 months after the release of the movie. 4 months after the release of the movie, the streaming.
That wouldn't work because people wouldn't have the urge to see the movie on the cinema.
Yeah, but the one thing they did wrong with
because imagine the movie comes out in December.
Yeah.
And they would go like, oh, the movie comes out in December. Okay, on March I can see it on Disney. Yeah, they would get more subscribers on the service, but they would lose money on movie tickets. You see what I'm getting at?
But it's a Star Wars movie.
I know, but Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah.
How.
One thing I'm talking about movies and DVDs and all that. One thing I want them to do properly is that I want them to release when the third movie of the anthologies comes out. I want a special edition of the.
If it comes out. If.
Now they're saying if.
Let's see.
Basically, one of the few things that's still not being trashed out by fans is a if.
I hope it comes.
Jesus.
But I mean, you would already have like the confirmation of something coming out next year. because
Yeah.
you can't just put like an anthology between every episode, and then all of the sudden
Kaput.
you're going to make the third anthology movie,
Kaput.
but instead of a year, it's 2 years or 3 years. People would lose interest.
Yeah.
I think.
No, but if they release the third movie of an anthology, I want a special edition with those bonus discs with commentaries, deleted scenes, and all that. Because when I went to buy or wanted to buy a DVD, a Blu-ray of Rogue One, there wasn't one. Just normal edition.
Mine it has. I think I have two
But-
discs. My Blu-ray, I think it has 2 discs.
You sure?
I think it does.
I have to but I'm pretty sure when I searched for it, it was like medium content, basically
I mean,
nothing.
Maybe you
No director's cut.
maybe you didn't see the oh, but the director's cut usually they don't come nowadays.
No, director's cut. I meant the director's comments
look at
on
look
the
at-
video.
Look at the Batman versus Superman cut.
I didn't meant like cut. I meant like the commentaries.
Oh, the commentary edition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a funny fact for you to see. Not you because you've seen. I mean the listeners. Asterix and Obelix. Mission Cléopâtre. The director's cut. The guy who played Caesar on that movie is the director of the movie.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
the director's cut, you have to see it because it's only the parts about
amazing.
Caesar.
It's amazing.
It's the most iconic,
It's amazing. I've seen it.
ironic thing ever.
With that French accent. It's amazing.
It's the most narcissistic shit I've ever seen in my life.
I mean,
Shit in a good way.
It was on purpose.
It was on purpose.
There's that myth that Caesar was narcissistic.
Caesar.
Caesar ou César? Non, César, c'est bien.
C'est bien.
César, c'est bien.
I think that's it for today.
Yeah, I think we have a good amount of time here.
Yeah. We talked about shit and more shit and more shit.
Anything to add, or you would rather wait for news?
To end this episode, quand il attaque, l'Empire contre-attaque.
L'Empire
Il-
contre-attaque.
L'Empire contre-attaque.
Wait.
Let's try again.
Wait.
No? Wait.
You're getting ahead of
Oh
yourself.
shit. What did I forget? What did I forget?
You're getting ahead of
This is
yourself.
because of the lack of coffee.
Probably.
Yeah.
So time to get some more coffee.
Yeah.
We will check back next week, next Friday.
Yeah.
Hopefully with some more news, something else to talk about, and less venting because we vent a lot on this
I want to
episode.
do an episode about the games.
Specifically about games.
the games.
Even the old ones.
We'll start with the old ones.
Okay.
We'll talk about the chess Star Wars game. We'll talk about the pod racing game. We'll talk about the old RPG games. The pen and paper RPG
We'll
games.
see. When we have a week without news, real news,
Yeah.
we can dedicate a whole episode on that. I hope. So, from me, I have nothing else to add. Bruno doesn't either. He just
Yeah.
wants some coffee.
We'll just
So,
repeat what we wanted
We
to say.
will see you next week. May the force be with you guys.
And quand il attaque,
L'Empire contre-attaque.